Hey guys, how's everyone doing? I wasn't going to jump on here, okay? It's Friday and I was getting ready to just settle down and watch a movie. But before I do that, I just wanted to jump on here and just give you guys a words of encouragement. I do feel like the Lord wants me to share this with you all, so let's just jump right in so that we could enjoy our Friday night with the family. So, yes, I wanted to read a verse from Psalm 23, verses 4. And I'm not going to discuss the whole thing, but I'll read the whole scripture. It says, Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. I wanted to expound a little bit on this valley of the shadow of death. As I was writing my devotion for next week, I began to think about the valley of the shadow of death. Now, this valley that we go through as believers, it's not a valley that we can avoid. This valley is a part of every believer's journey. Even Jesus had to go into the wilderness, right? And so for every person that's even mentioned in the Bible had to go through a wilderness season. They had to go through the valley of the shadow of death, where it literally felt like they were getting ready to lose their mind or lose their life, right? Or lose, their purpose and their strength, okay? But I am here to share with someone tonight that although you might be in the valley, I love how David said, although I walk through the valley. We have to learn how to walk through the valley as believers. Too many of us, we spend too much time in the valley. Just as the Israelites, they were supposed to go through that wilderness for 11 days and it took them 40 years. We do not want to be like them where we're taking longer than heaven's agenda, right? We're taking longer than the prescribed amount of time that it should have taken us, okay? What should have taken us one day, many of us are in it for years. What should have taken us just a couple of weeks, we've been in it for months. And what should have been months have taken us years. No longer will it be God's people that get stuck in the valley. I love Psalms 23 because it starts out saying, the Lord is my shepherd. When the God is your shepherd and you have revelation that he is shepherd and you need him to continue to be shepherd, you won't waste time. You won't waste more time in the valley than you need to be, because he's leading you through. The other benefit of a shepherd is that he gets you where you need to go longer. We cannot lean on our own understanding while we're in this valley. We have to ask God why, right? There's some people who are afraid to ask God why. I ask God why all the time. I have a journal that's filled with whys because I'm so interested in tapping into the mind and the heart of God about the plans that he has for me. I've said this in another video. How good is it for God to have the plans for me and they not be downloaded? His plans in his mind is not good enough for me. I need to have it. I need to know it so that I can come into agreement. How can two walk together if they don't agree? How can two walk together if one don't know where they're going? And so the partnership that Psalm 23 shows us is that God is going to take us through the valley, that it's necessary, that these valley experiences are necessary for the believer's walk of faith, okay? We have to go from one place to another, but we cannot get stuck. Go through that depression, get through it, learn what you can. What wisdom, what did you learn from that bad relationship, right? What did you learn from that bad decision? What did you learn from that bad business deal? Go through it and don't get stuck. The worst thing that we could possibly do is get stuck. When we get stuck somewhere, we're no longer on God's timeline. We're on someone else's. When we get stuck, when we refuse to move, when we refuse to learn, when we refuse to grow, when we refuse to tap into the mind of God, when we refuse to read our word, when we refuse to, come to the place where other believers are coming together and assemble ourselves, when we refuse to pray, when we refuse to worship, when we refuse to ask, seek, and knock, we are causing ourselves to be stuck in a valley where we were supposed to get through. I want you, whenever you're listening to this video, I want you to seriously take this message and what I'm saying back to God. Go back to God and say, Lord, I heard Sister Christina, Coach Christina, she was talking about, this valley and how it's not good for us to get stuck, and how you desire for us to go through it and not get stuck. Am I stuck, Lord? Because you might be going through some things in one area and stuck in another. God doesn't want us to be stuck in any area of our life. You might be growing with your marriage and your relationships with other people, but you could be stuck in business, right? You could be stuck in your finances. You could be stuck in your health, but yet you're prospering and in good health. You could be sick in your soul, but yet you're making money. So let's go back to God, including myself, and ask God to show me, Lord, what areas, what valleys are in my life that I am not walking through, I'm stuck in. And also, God, show me the areas that I am walking through, because I don't want to miss the wisdom. I don't want to miss the understanding. I don't want to miss the knowledge. I don't want to miss the experience, because sometimes God takes us through these valleys and we're missing the experience because we're so busy trying to find the light. I need you today to understand and embrace it. What did Paul say? He said he counted all joy. Even while we're in the valley, we can still count it all joy. You might be a little sick and not really feeling your best right now, but count it all joy because you're taking notes. This is what I've learned. You're journaling, dear God. You're petitioning the courts. You're showing up in prayer. You're going to get through it. I promise you, you're going to get through it. I'm speaking from experiences. You'll get through it. If you stay devoted to God and you keep him as your shepherd. We can start off as God being our shepherd. There's a scripture that says that God will leave the 99 for the one, but he never indicated who that one was. That one could have been one who was once in the presence of God. That one could be the one who never knew God. So we got to keep ourselves humble and keep ourselves teachable unto the Lord. And I want you all to ask God in your prayer time, in your devotion. Ask him about the valley that you were in, are in, or the one you'll be going into. And as long as you keep God as your shepherd, you'll always come out victorious. It's a promise. He said he'll never leave us nor forsake us. So he's in the valley with us. And one thing I want to add, don't ever think that your valleys are because of what you did. God is merciful. And guess what? God is Abba Father. He's love. He's the perfect father for every child. He knows what he's doing as long as you go through right. It don't matter what you go through. I've always said this. I say it on the podcast, the GLM Gift Life Meaning podcast, all the time, because I live by this. It doesn't matter what you go through. What matters the most is who you go through it with. And as long as we have Abba Father, our friend, our shepherd, our father with us, we'll always get through on the other side, where we can then lie down in green pastures and he can restore our soul. God knows how to restore us. He restores the years. He restores the months. He restores the weeks. He restores our mind, our body, our emotions, our money, our relationships, whatever. But yes, that's my cue. It's time to go. I pray you all learned something from this. And yes, if you have, leave a comment down below. Who is this message for? Again, I love you guys with the love of Christ. You guys have a great, great weekend. God bless. Till next time.